One other tool we have to support the children's developing freedom and responsibility is an individual meeting with the guide. And so in general, these individual meetings should take place at least each week with every child. So this is a time when the guide sits down alone with one child and has a brief meeting. And the goal of this meeting is really to develop the relationship between the guide and the child in collaborating on their freedom and responsibility in the classroom. It's a time to really talk one-on-one and to build relationship. So we're not focused on fault finding or making a child feel, stressed about accounting for their work. This is a time for the children to feel a sense of responsibility for their work and to learn how to manage that alongside this trusted adult. So these ideally will happen on about a weekly basis. Young children might need more frequent meetings, or, sometimes older children, and more experienced children in the environment might need less frequent meetings. Although I've found that even my oldest, most responsible children really loved this one-on-one time with me each week. And so we did manage to keep these meetings going. Now, I often hear from guides in classrooms that they simply do not have the time to do this. It's overwhelming. They can't manage it. And I understand it feels like a big chunk of time if you're giving 5 minutes or so to every child and you've got 30 children. That's 2.5 hours at minimum a week that you're spending on these meetings. And it's worth every second of that time. This really is the key to children being able to really maximize their freedom and responsibility in the classroom. It's a key to knowing exactly how to connect to this child and offer presentations. It's really an important aspect of the classroom, so you must make the time. These meetings are brief, 5 to 7 minutes. And if you have more to talk about, you set another time to do that. But these regular maintenance meetings are brief. And I always invited one child to gather their work journal, their work folder, any project or something they wanted to show or discuss. And then I had the next child doing the same thing so they were ready to go when I was done with this meeting. I began the meeting by really asking the child, what do you want to talk about this week? What do you have to show or share? Is there something you're really excited about? Is there something that's causing you frustration? And we can work on it. So I'd let the child really lead this discussion. And I, of course, have, looked at their work journal prior to the meeting, maybe glanced at their work folder to see what's in process and what they've finished. So I've got some notes of things that I'd like to discuss or I've noticed. Maybe something from one of my observations during the week. But I'm going to let the child guide it and eventually if I've got a concern or something I really want to address, I'll get to it. But I want the child to initially set our agenda. And then that conversation continues. Oh, I see that you have done a lot of story writing. Could I take a look at what that is? Your journal says you've been doing a lot of story writing. What do you have that I could take a look at? And the conversation could be, do you feel like you've gotten a lot accomplished or why or why not? And I really want the child to develop the awareness of their workflow, of their work product, what they've done or haven't done and why. I'm not going to impose too much judgment on this. I really want the children to say, oh yeah, actually I was goofing off with my friends and I didn't get much done on the story, or I didn't get much done on the story because I'm just blocked. This is really frustrating me. Whatever it is, and I can then support the child through solving that. So these are relationship-based meetings. They're collaborative meetings. They should be meetings children are looking forward to each week. And we have the opportunity to provide just the right support or scaffolding to help them take responsibility for their work or their workflow. And they're a key to freedom and responsibility in the classroom. Children know they're going to have this regular meeting. They know they have to talk about themselves and their work. They know that it's in a supportive manner, so it's not scary, but it is something they're responsible for. This helps them learn who they are as workers, learn how they work, learn how they learn, and really equips them to be strong at managing their time in the classroom, the elementary classroom, but also any classroom they transition to in the future. So I can't emphasize enough the importance of these meetings. Make time for them, make them happen. Hold yourself as a guide accountable for these individual meetings each week, and you will see the powerful effect it has on the culture of work in your classroom and the children's abilities to really maximize their freedom and responsibility.